I'm keeping my head up, it's bound to get better, even though things look grim. And I'm wondering what's out there, and will my tomorrow be better than today has been? I guess I'll run against the wind to make it better, if it can get better. I'm keeping my head up.
I am a black woman. I am a black woman with natural hair. I am a fat black woman with natural hair, and I speak my mind. Okay, now that we have got all that obvious-ish out of the way, and we've said all the things that we try not to say, hey, my loves, my name is TamraLamese, and welcome to my channel. So because of the world we live in, for the majority of my 30-something years, I've been conditioned to believe that I can't be too loud, too smart, too sexy, or sexy at all, too successful, too beautiful, too desirable, or too strong. I've been conditioned to believe that I don't deserve these things because beauty belongs to those who are thin and blonde. Don't believe me? Look around. It's in the movies, on TV, in all the different forms of media that we consume. It reinforces what pretty means, and it never looks or sounds like me. If I'm loud, or I speak my mind, or I stand up for myself, I'm thought of as ghetto or an angry black woman. You know, the result of this conditioning is many years wasted. Many years not going to that audition because they wouldn't want to spend money to costume a fat girl. Yes, that is something I've been told to my face. Many years of letting people walk all over me and talk to me with disrespect because if I said no, they would think that I am that black bitch. People say that they're colorblind, or they don't see color, or they accept people for who they are, not what they look like. But in order to accept me for who I am, you have to see me for all that I am. Because no matter what I do, every time I step outside of my front door, the world sees this fat black woman, and people love to judge a book by its cover. You know, I can't change their opinions of me, but I sure as hell can change how I let it affect me. I've been through a lot of changes over the last few years. I got married. I left Los Angeles. Los Angeles is where I was born and raised. It's the only home that I've ever known. And I moved to Denver, Colorado, a place that I had never been until I drove in the day that we got there with my husband, 3 cats, and all of our crap packed in a car. And we moved into an apartment that we had never seen. Now I'm in Las Vegas running my own businesses, and I'm the kind of person that said I would never be an entrepreneur because I just couldn't do it. So there's hope. When I was in Denver, I felt like the amount of space I took up was a problem for other people. That may have been true in LA, but it was my home. I was just kind of, I guess, conditioned and used to how I go through life there. But in Denver, I felt like my fat body was an inconvenience. And on more than one occasion, men were blatantly obvious that they were bothered by the amount of space that I take up. I remember one time I was sitting at a bar and this guy squeezed in between me and the girl next to me. He bumped me. And as per usual, I turned to him and smiled and in my sweetest loud bar voice said, "Sorry." He smiled and said, "No problem, but you do have a lot to get around." Wow. In my haze of being a few cocktails in, I laughed it off and turned back to my husband feeling very, very bad about myself and super low. It actually ruined the evening and we ended up going home because I just couldn't shake off this guy's like blatant disrespect to my face that he thought was okay. Anyway, so the next day I decided that that's it. I'm not going to let someone's limited view make me feel less than the queen that I am. I am smart. I am beautiful. I'm a pleasure to be around. If you don't think so, let's go for drinks. And I deserve to take up as much space as I damn well please. I am worthy of a full life no matter what. Me and my fat body are going to continue to strut up and down all of the streets wherever I choose to be, and no one will ever make me feel less than again. So remember, you don't need anyone's approval. Your approval is the only one that matters. When I began this journey of self-love, I wanted to be healthier inside and out. I wanted to love myself more than I had ever before. I was tired of my lifelong motto, fake it till you make it. I wanted to actually feel it and finally make it. I wanted to see and feel what it was like to love myself so much I would choose me over other people. I would choose to work through and not ignore my depression and anxiety. I mean, I just wanted to find a way to let that little baby star outside that has spent so many years inside, and I wanted her to be able to stay out. You know, let me give you a little spoiler. It worked. I'm here, letting it all hang out, still growing, but thriving, living my best life, the life that I have always dreamed of. So why self-love, you may ask? You know, after spending so much of my life hiding and trying to cover up and trying to shrink, and then putting my friends and just about anyone's wants over my own, after years of being afraid that if I asked for what I wanted and I needed, I would have no friends, I would be all by myself and no one would love me, I was totally, completely lost. I didn't know who I was or what I wanted for myself. I tried to live in other people's dreams and ended up miserable and resentful. I was depressed and lashing out at the people that loved me the most. I stopped taking care of my body. I started to find comfort in eating my emotions. I stopped dancing, and I grew up dancing. So I've been dancing since I was like 4 or 5. I started in ballet. I took tap. I can twirl a baton. I can still twirl a baton. And I just suddenly stopped. And any free time that I had, I just spent it on the couch watching TV and mindlessly snacking. I was just a shell of a person who was slowly moving through life, missing out on fun and opportunity. I let all of my fears just take over. And just when I decided that this was my life, I was only allowed to have this much, I found out there is more. I found that there are people who have been through something similar. I found podcasts and articles and books and Instagram pages and Facebook groups, all dedicated to getting out of that dark place and dedicated to loving yourself. So I started learning and consuming all of the material that I could. I became kind of like a nerdy freak about it. I am just kind of like that. When I get my hooks into something, I want to know as much as possible. And, you know, I started doing the work. I actually did the homework that was involved. And just to let y'all know, your girl does not do homework. I am notoriously known. You can ask all the teachers throughout my educational career, I don't do homework. I skate by on the fact that I listen and I like to read. But anyway, I knew that this time had to be different. If I was going to create a lasting change, then I had to change. So I started doing the work. I wrote things down. I journaled. I started writing again. And it worked. You know, I wrote down 50 things that I loved about my body. I looked in the mirror and said, I love myself like 100 times a day. I tried to meditate, emphasis on tried. I said affirmations. I did all of the things, and y'all, it works. It works so well that I found my purpose. I am on this beautiful planet of ours to help others like me. We are fat. We are told that our bodies are not okay. We are overlooked or ridiculed into hiding ourselves and convincing ourselves that the only way we deserve love, joy, sex, or success is if we lose weight first. Enough is enough. I am here to tell you that you can love yourself now. You can be fully happy now. You can be wildly successful now. Your body size does not have to determine how enough you are. You're enough now. And I'm here to show you how. I have done the majority of all this work by myself. And I have to admit, a lot of times it really sucked. And I don't want that for you. I want to guide you to your absolute best life, the life of your dreams. I want to show you that your potential is limitless. I hope you're ready because this is gonna be freaking awesome. You know, the fat community has come a long way in our efforts of loving ourselves, being proud of who we are, and standing up to the outside world. And I am so thankful for the voices and influencers that have come before me to stand up for our community. We've been given so much inspiration and motivation, but now is the time to work on the how in getting there. I could read a meme, read an inspirational article, listen to an inspirational podcast all day long. But when there is no method to the madness, essentially, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to implement this into my life in the long term without having a method, without the how. And that's why I've developed this program and this platform and my coaching practice to walk with you through the how. There are specific and tangible steps and methods and ways for you to feel so much love, so much fat self-love that you can walk through this world with your head held high and live the life you've always wanted. So, let's get started. This community is not a monologue, it's a conversation. I love and need to hear your feedback. So you can comment below. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at TamraLamese, or email me at tamra@dozeland.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you are enjoying these videos. Let me know if there's a subject matter that you want me to cover. I am here for you. But until next time, my name is TamraLamese, and if there's one thing I want you to know is that I love you, and you should love you too. Bye for now.
Well, I'm keeping my head up, it's bound to get better, even though things look grim. And I'm wondering what's out there, and will my tomorrow